I'm Huggy from Say What Now, and I'm here with Miles, one of the writers from Red vs. Blue, and head writer for RWBY.
Hello. How you guys doing?
Really good, thanks, man. You've had a busy weekend, I imagine?
Yeah, if my voice doesn't give it away. It has been a hell of a weekend, and man, I regret nothing. This has been so much fun. This is what happens when you drink and shout and just get really, really rowdy for like 3 days. And I recommend it to everybody that can give that a shot.
I mean, you've had plenty of reason to be excited this weekend. A lot of big announcements have come out. So
really big announcements, yeah.
I mean, so much stuff come out about RWBY. You've got the game.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It just looks astounding.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, hey, props to Jordan. Dude's 19. He went out and just did this on his own. And the dude's got a lot of talent, and I'm really excited. It's already fun to play. It's just like, survival, horde mode, hack and slash kind of thing. I'm excited to see where it goes from here,
You got any involvement with the game at all, or is it?
Oh no. I'm not smart enough to make games. I don't know math and stuff. All I do is press the buttons and go, that was cool. No, man, that's all him, and it's just the start of things. Yeah, Rooster Teeth going into game development. I cannot believe that's a thing. And it's one of my favorite things about the company is if we just want to do something, we'll do it. Yeah. It's not like, oh no, video game. That we just make videos. Like, you want to make video games? Let's do it, man. Sure. So we partnered up with Certain Affinity, the guys that worked on some of the previous Halo games. We're doing Age of Booty with them. And who knows where it's going to go from here, man.
I always like the fact that Rooster Teeth came from a video game, making a series from a video game, and now someone has made a video game of one of your series.
See, here's how it can only go full circle, is if someone else takes the RWBY game and makes a machinima series out of it, and then they rise to stardom. That's the only way this can end for me to be happy at this point.
You also work on Red vs. Blue.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so, do you write both simultaneously, or do you bounce back and forth? How do you balance your schedule with that?
Yeah, that's what I'm terrible at, is balancing my schedule. This year with RWBY and RWBY, essentially, Carrie and I meet with Monty. We talk about the story we want to tell for this volume. Carrie and I go off and do our little writing thing, hand over scripts. And then once the scripts are all approved and we go into production, I kind of take a back seat and we'll only, I'll sit in on an occasional review, give my advice, help direct voice actors. But a lot of the production, a lot of the heavy hitting stuff comes from Carrie and our producer, Gray Haddock, who also voices Roman Torchwick and Locust. Dude is super awesome. And he's just like handling such a big project so extremely well, as well as we just have an incredible team. It would take me forever to list everybody, but they're all just fantastic. And, so while they're doing that, that's when I'm over in the corner with a bunch of Xbox controllers pulling my hair out, man. It is wild. RWBY 12 is a lot bigger than our previous season and a lot more ambitious. And the fact that we've added animation back into the mix is crazy. I've never directed animation at the scale that I am now. With RWBY, I would say this is how I feel about this shot or something like that. But this is now every shot, every movement, every action that the character takes is me working with our animator Chris Dyke, saying, this is how I really want this to feel. Here's how I want the scene to look. And it's difficult. It's something I've never really done this in depth before. And so I think part of the challenges of this season is learning how animation works.
I mean, it must be such a benefit to you after season 11 with the reintroduction of the CGI elements to Red vs. Blue. It's just so much more available to you as a director.
It's a blessing and a curse. I've come now to understand machinima. I know what I can and can't do. I know it works. With animation now, this is all brand new, so I need to figure out, how exactly it's going to play out. I'm still learning. Exactly how long does it take to make a scene like this? It's from a writing standpoint. Yes, it's a lot more fun to have that much more freedom. From a production standpoint and a time management standpoint, it is so stressful. Because now, it used to be, what's that? We're running behind schedule. We can knock out, 3 episodes of machinima in a week. We can stay late every night. We can get it done. With animation, I need to be thinking weeks in advance, assigning scenes weeks ahead, making sure that we're going to have the music for it weeks ahead. And like I said, time management, unfortunately, isn't my strongest suit. So it's, It's I'm learning things the hard way, so it seems.
Yeah. Well, you obviously took over from Bernie at the end of season 10. How did you handle the fan reaction to some of your creative choices when the way you took the story?
Well, I try and follow Bernie and Matt's golden rule, which is make something that I'd want to watch. And something that I've wanted to see for a long time is the Reds and Blues kicking ass in their own silly, goofy way. With 11, we looked at season 10 and said, how the hell are we going to top that? And the answer was we couldn't. We didn't have the assets and the time to do it with now trying to produce RWBY, and as well as a bunch of other projects that we were getting started that you're starting to hear about now. So the idea was, let's not try to top it. Let's try to do something different. And that something different was going back to our roots, going back to the Blood Gulch Chronicles, which is
a lot of people were quite happy
I
about.
loved it. I'm a huge Chronicles fan. So when I was told, hey, we're going to try and do mainly a comedy season, I was just like, I was so on board. It's interesting, though, how Red versus Blue, now that it's been around for over a decade, you have fans from different eras of the show's saga, I guess. So, you have the Blood Gulch Chronicle fans that really love the comedy and the writing, and then you have the newer fans that are really into the action and the fighting. And it's really hard to find a mix that pleases everybody. A lot of the comments on season 11 was, nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. I would argue that things were happening. It was just dumb things and character development things. It wasn't fighting, but there were moments between the characters and how they were getting along with one another.
Season 11, I thought, works so well as a continuous narrative.
Thank you very much.
The weekly releases, it slowed it down a bit.
It's hard,
as a single
and that is something
vision,
something that I've learned now is when it comes to writing. To me, it's like, oh, we have this 5-minute scene and this 5-minute scene. Yeah, no, this is fine. But now I've really learned. Well, to the audience, there's a week. There's 7 days that they have to think on this. And that can absolutely slow things down. They do absolutely talk. And that's something that I've learned and I'm trying to keep. It's funny. I've tried to learn from that, but really all I've done with season 12 is tease people with more deliberate cliffhangers and whatnot. I'm a monster. But
the last aired episode, you even had Kavushis go,
cliffhanger. Yeah. That was fun. And that was a moment that I've been waiting for a long time. I was super excited about.
I think a lot of people were quite happy to see that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's but yeah, this season is definitely we're seeing some of our favorite characters mature a little more. In particular, Tucker's going through a bit of some character development, and a few other characters that you may not notice yet, but throughout the course of the season, we're going to get more in depth on. And to me, that's personally something I wanted to see. Obviously, you can't make Griff, ripped. You can't make Simmons a crazy slide. You can't change who they are. But slowly and over time, they can become a better version of who they are. And we're not going to go, it's not going to become a super space melodrama, I hope. If it does, I'm a terrible writer and I'm sorry. But I wanted to see, we've seen the Blood Gulch Gang being silly while the freelancers kick ass. Like I said, I wanted to see the Blood Gulch Gang put in a situation where they're forced to kick ass in their own stupid, moronic, silly way. And I wanted their story to carry a lot of weight and not necessarily be kind of like, the tag-along funny guys. And it's been a lot of fun, man. It's been so much fun.
You've also got a couple of characters you play in each season. You've got Felix and John and RWBY as well. Do you find it harder to write for your own characters than for other people's?
Yeah,
that you're going to be doing the lines.
In terms of performance, it's easier because I know exactly what I want. Directing is something really difficult. It's actually not even my favorite part of the process. It's hard telling someone exactly how you want them to be. I'm like I'll just do it myself kind of guy, which is bad. So in terms of getting the performance, it's way easy because I know exactly what I want to hear. In terms of writing, it's hard because I have to be like, I don't want to give this guy too many lines because I'm being biased, but maybe this character's important. It's funny I never expected to play Felix. I wanted someone, gruff and tough and kind of cynical. But at the time we were so rushed for time with season 11. I just looked around. I was like, we don't have anybody to do this voice. And Matt was like, you should do a voice. I was like, oh, okay. And I tried it, and they were like, yeah, it works. So I was like, I guess I'm Felix now.
Definitely works.
But it's been fun. It's fun getting to play someone that's kind of an asshole. Because Jean is such, a nerdy wimp. It's fun getting to see somebody that looks at death and goes, fucking idiot.
The the book, the Red vs. Blue book that's coming out. Are you involved in that?
Yeah, a little bit. Bernie, Matt, myself, and of course Eddie Rivas. Eddie Rivas is doing the big lifting on this project. He's doing a lot of the work on this. I can't get too in depth, but I can tell you I'm very, very, very excited about it. It's going to have a lot of fun facts and behind the scenes stuff and cool pictures and a little bit of some extra stories and stuff. And I think it's gonna be super cool. That's all I can say about it. But I'm stoked. I'm so stoked.
We were discussing. Is it going to be canon with the Halo universe or just the Red vs. Blue universe?
We've kind of flirted the line with the Halo universe a few times. It's definitely going to be canon with Red vs. Blue, but we might, brush against Halo from time to time.
That would make it very interesting.
You have to see. You'll have to wait and find out.
If we can't even save a few prisoners, how can we expect to save Chorus? Meh. We'll wing it.
Day 5 and a lot of the other live action projects you're working on at the moment, the medieval project that's
iBlade, yes.
Are you? It's actually iBlade.
Well, that's what I can't talk. That's what we've been kind of referring to it as on the show floor.
I saw the posters and we weren't sure if that was the actual name for it.
I actually don't know if that's the actual name. That's just what we refer to it a lot of times around at the office. But we keep just referring to it as iBlade. But sorry, what was your question?
Are you having any input on those? Are you writing?
A little bit with the iBlade project in the very, very early stages. Chris Damiris and I kind of did some stuff, but then backed away from that to focus on RWBY and RVB. That's been much the live action team, and it's fun to see poke into their office and see what they're working on and see like people walking around in like crazy Viking garb and stuff. Just like, what is going on there? So not a ton of work on that, but it's fun to watch it progress.
I'm so looking forward to it. I've seen some of the props out there, and it just looks amazing. Last thing, do you see RWBY going as long as Red vs. Blue? Do you hope for it to go as long?
Man, I hope so. I mean, we'll see. It's I absolutely think that it can. I think it's all going to depend on how fans continue to respond to it, and as long as we still have fun, I think we should still keep doing it.
If you could, we'd really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, man.
Well, thank you very much, Miles.
Hey, no problem, dude. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks for talking with me, man.
We are in a time of peace. Shows of power like this are just going to give off the wrong impression.
You honestly believe your children can win a war?
I hope they never have to.
I don't understand how everyone can be so calm.
You're still thinking about Torchwick?
Torchwick? The White Fang? All of it. Something big is happening and no one is doing anything about it.
We're not ready.
And we may never be ready. Our enemies aren't just gonna sit around and wait for graduation day. They're out there, somewhere, planning their next move, and none of us know what it is, but it's coming.
Have a little faith. You'll know what you need when you need to know it.
Our second semester is going to be great, but classes start back up tomorrow, which is why I've taken the time to schedule a series of wonderful events for us today.
This ought to be good.
They're supposed to be the defenders of the world.
And they will be, but right now they're still children. So why not let them play the part? It isn't a role they'll have forever.